Hello folks, John Goldstein here. Have you ever seen a slide out on the floor and not in the RV? Let's check it out. You want to see how this started, check out the previous video. This slide out was not cooperating when it came in. It was stuck. It wasn't all the way in. It wasn't all the way out. So guess what? We put it in timeout, took it outside, and gutted that bottom of that floor, tweaked all the things that this customer needed us to tweak based on the new floor plan. There was all kinds of steps on that floor. And when we took the room out, we actually found that a lot of the welds and a lot of the way that this floor was constructed had already broke. We found ways to improve all of that, tried to make it so it was going to be stronger than it was before, and tried to adapt that into the situation that we have here to make sure that it's everything this customer needs to be in the profile that we have, so that way this customer can get the footprint and the floor plan that they want. So what started as a rendering and some scribble notes has been tweaked and changed to try to show this customer what this and this space is really going to be when we take our hard work and determination and the right wood and the right stain and a couple tries and a couple different tweaks to give them exactly what they want. Over here we have a mock-up of the Japanese style look that we achieved with a cream panel on the background with some natural stain on some alder wood, giving it that perfect Shogun Japanese style look. Another feature they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out how to do the interior of the roof in certain areas that we're not always going to do with the other slats. So this is one option we're trying to go over right now to show the customer to see if they really like it. Over here we have the dark wood wrapped with some black trim to try to show them the overall look of what they gave us in this image right here. We tried a couple different variations, but this looks like one of the final designs that this is going to go on the ceiling. We're going to put a dowel through there. We're going to tweak this stain right now on the back to show them what this looks like with a more of a darker stain like this, so that way they can decide, do they like the black background or do they want to go with the dark wood. This is the flooring that we're going to pick. This is kind of the cream panel that we're going to use on the walls. We want to show all those colors together to let that customer make sure that they like the way all those colors marry together and the inside is going to be everything that they want it to be. Now that we've shown the customer all the different variations of their colors and how they're going to blend together, let's go look at the inside of the RV. These slide out systems are not the most reliable. They get stuck, and a lot of the times if you can't just change a motor, you have to do a whole system, which is one of the things that we're gonna do in this build. This whole slide out system that was stuck is in the process of getting set back in right now, so we can get this vehicle over so we can get a Vroom slide out system installed to take this completely off and swapped out for a much stronger and a more robust, similar type of system that is hopefully going to give this customer less problems. There's really not a lot to these rooms. I mean, if you want to look at it like a sandwich, you got the outside piece of bread, which is your exterior Phylon, and a piece of Luan on the back, giving it some rigidity. You have your 1.5 inch aluminum. There is some insulation on there, and then on the inside you have your decor panel. So when you think about it, there's really not a whole lot of weight, just a lot of styrofoam, a lot of aluminum, and some panels. Over here in the center, where they had actually made the relief cut for the piping and the wiring to go originally, the floor had broke. So what we did is we came back and we re-welded that, and the floor was actually even bent. So we bent it as straight as we could, we reinforced it, and this slide out used to have all kinds of steps because back here was the pantry and then a dishwasher, and then they had a full kitchen and then dinette booth. In this build now, we're gonna start over here with bunks and then a storage cabinet for all their cleaning supplies, followed by the refrigerator, followed by another pantry that's going to be literally right across from the kitchen, and then a long bench seat. So when we came up with that design did not work with all the different steps on the floor. That overall profile of this floor, how it was originally, was not going to work with the way the new layout was going to be on the inside of the vehicle, and all of those steps were not needed because we weren't going to have the kick out for the kitchen sink, and we weren't going to have a deeper area for that booth, and the way everything is getting configured, all of that needed to get redone. We put on our new wiper seal so that way this customer can have less dust when they go out to Burning Man and wherever else this vehicle may go. This slide out and this hole was in this position where the old sink was routed and it would drain down into the gray water tank. So when we're doing this reconstruction, what we needed to do is we needed to relocate the wires. We had to cap off the gray water tank right here because we're no longer gonna need drainage. We foamed it up. After we were done fixing and finishing this hole, we came back and we found that all of these rollers weren't installed correctly. They were slightly crooked and the screws that they used actually didn't even bite into the metal that they wanted from the factory to have these rollers attached to. We've trued up all of these rollers, we've screwed them into the right areas, lined them up perfectly with the aluminum plates that are on the bottom of this room, making sure that the function of this travel is always going to be in the right space and it's always going to be on the right part of the bottom of the floor. Another thing we have to do is we're going to have to route all of the 110 and the 12 volt that were right here into a new position so it can line up with our hole. We had to cut and modify the metal guides that are designed for this slide out system to line up perfectly with these T-bars, making sure that room has proper travel and the proper support on the in and out motions. Now that we've talked about all the things that we've fixed and changed on this slide out system and this setup, let's go over and see what's changed on the inside. Wait a minute, something is totally wrong here. There's not supposed to be this huge opening on the side of this coach, right? That's what it looks like when the room is out. That's how big this room is, and that's how much wall is really left when that bad boy is out and on the floor. So let's go over some of the details that's changed on the inside. So we're prepping the ceiling for this crazy wood overlay Shogun Japanese style interior. So we're getting all the old foam off. We've got all the lights out. So this is our final mock-up of the kitchen. We're gonna have our stove here, our sink here, microwave, over the range vent, overhead cabinets. We're gonna have drawers right here. We're gonna have a pop-up TV on struts right here. We're gonna have a door that kind of comes out and folds back. We actually have it out right now. It's over there. So one of the other things is we're gonna have a 4-section folding door that's gonna come out like a Japanese style accordion door. So if the customer wants to close off that door and have privacy in the front bed, if he needs to go to bed, he's ready to go. So again, on this slide out, even though it's out, over here is gonna be a long bench seat. We're gonna have the pantry, the refrigerator, cleaning supply closet, bunk beds with overhead TVs, and then over here in the back, this is where it's totally gonna really be different. So this is kind of like one of those remodels that you see on TV where all they have left is one wall. This is the one wall that we're pretty much keeping, and everything else has been changed. The toilet location is gonna stay the same. This is gonna be a bathroom, and instead of having the shower where it was, we're gonna build a wall. The toilet's gonna be in its own area, and over here behind this wall, we are going to build a beautiful handcrafted shower that is also going to be a steam shower. And to do that steam shower, we're gonna have to put in a steam generator, and we're actually changing out the entire generator on this vehicle because it doesn't produce 240 volts that we need to power up that steam generator that this customer just really wants to have. This is gonna be a pocket door that's gonna slide and close this area off. Over here, this is gonna be a bedroom wall that's gonna close off the bed area that's gonna be over here. We're gonna throw in an extra water tank over in this area that the customer can use to fill his fresh water when he runs out of water if he needs a little bit more. One of the big challenges of this build is this slide out, this bedroom suite, trying to make this room be able to come in and out. We're limited by the overall height of the engine access area and the overall framing above the engine and the radiator area, so we're trying to blend all of that together so we can still give this guy a nice suite type bathroom right across from the steam shower. We're gonna have a nice bed area over here. One of the other crazy features of this build is this customer wants access to the roof. So what we did is we came over here and we built the closet, and they were like, wait, if we make this solid wood, we can build in steps right here. And what we needed to do is we needed to open up this ceiling and find out what kind of framing and what's underneath that panel to figure out how we're gonna give this customer roof access so we can open it up and go check out the party from any height. Over here, we've actually drilled holes into this wall, so that way we can give this customer as much head and legroom as possible that this space will allow. And the only way we're gonna achieve that is by finding a way to take this profile all the way across, all the way to the end wall. When we took out the nightstand over here, we've uncovered the fact that all of the areas around the intake for the engine have not been sealed properly, and it's letting in all kinds of dirt and debris. So when we build this, we're gonna find a way to seal that better, so that way all of that stuff doesn't come inside the new build. A benefit of the way that we oriented everything in this build, we're not gonna have to do any crazy, at least at this point, reworking of all of the load center, because of the way that we're gonna position is gonna fit right under the bed. We can still have room for a nice big drawer. Over there, we're gonna have room for our extra water, and we don't have to relocate and make junctions to put this load center somewhere else, at least at this point in time. Over here in the slide out, to complete this bathroom area, we're gonna have a nice size sink, a mirrored medicine cabinet, and over here we're gonna have a nice bench, making sure you can get ready for whatever you're about to do. Another main reason we build mock-ups inside the space is to find out how the new design is gonna play with what we already have. So when we built this wall, now we've uncovered that this light's gonna be a problem, and the way that vent is located is gonna have to be redone. When we finish off this ceiling, we're gonna have slats of alder going front to back, giving that the beautiful wow factor this customer just can't live without. Now that we've talked about everything that's changing on the inside, I don't have any time to waste. I gotta get out of these guys' way, and I gotta let them get this slide out room in, because tomorrow she's gotta hit the road. The most important thing to do now is for everybody to be safe, and for me to step out of the way and let the professionals that know what they're doing take their time to get this room back into where it needs to be. So right now we're trying to lift it up. We got one person on each side of the room trying to help guide it, and one person on the inside trying to make sure that we're not going too high, so when we drive that room in, it'll go into the right spot. We're trying to line up the slide out system with the opening of the slide out wall, so that way we can reattach it where it needs to be. Perfect! That's right where she needs to be. Now that the room is back in, it's all lined up, it's ready to roll, get that Vroom system installed, and as soon as it comes back, we have less than 2 months to be ready and have the whole inside done so it can be ready for Burning Man. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Check out our future projects and our future updates to come, or if you're in Fontana, California, stop on by. Get the chancla. Oh shit.